welcome to another Coffee with Kilroy. Got my coffee, and I hope you have a beverage of your choice and are enjoying it. This week is a special week. This is D-Day week, and so my Coffee with Kilroy's, which there will be several. Actually, I might have a couple a day on a few days, so get ready for some caffeine. But I'll be covering D-Day. D-Day is tomorrow, June 6th. The action commenced on June 6, 1944. So I decided this week would be D-Day week. The primary focus will be covering the 5 for Fighting series game, which was put out by LPS Inc., which puts out Postcard Games, as well as also Against the Odds magazine and Turning Point Simulation games. These Postcard Games, I believe, came along with Against the Odds, or I got mine as part of a special package where they packaged all 5 of the games, hence 5 for Fighting, all 5 postcard games in one package. And I will be covering them individually through the days this week, and then culminating in covering the way you can combine these. There are rules for combining these 5, but I'll cover that. You have to stay tuned for that. That'll be later in the week. So expect a Coffee with Kilroy each day covering one of these postcard games, part of the series of 5 for Fighting. But also I'll have other offerings this week diving into D-Day. I've got a few things that are on the way. If I get them in time, you'll see them as well. But I have at least a couple of special things I wanted to cover. I might do a deep dive over over several D-Day games that I have in my collection, kind of going down through scale and looking at them. And I have some other little tidbits here and there that I'm going to try to get to. As I said, some of the stuff I have planned, I do not have my hands on yet, so I might be as surprised as you are. Anyway, so that is what I have planned for this week. Today is the Utah Beach Landings. This is the first in the series of the 5 for 5. They are numbered. They have the number of when they were released as far from the LPS, as you can see here. It's really hard to see with that font there, but this is a pocket battle game number 21. And so you'll have 21, 22, 23, 24, and 25, if my math is correct, of the different pocket battle games that are covering the D-Day landings and are part of the 5 for Fighting series there. So as you can see here on these postcard games, and I'll put a link to all the postcard games I've covered down below, which is many. You get the map on one side, and you get your counters along the side, so you can cut out these counters and play on the board. The rules are on the back, so you have all the rules that you need to play the game on the back, and you have, of course, the back side of the counters here. All these postcard games are generally the same that way. Now, these, since I've got these as a combined set, was able to get the die-cut counter sheet, which is typical ATO Against the Odds counters. As you see, this is the 5 for Fighting, and so you have each of the Utah, Omaha, Gold, Juno, and Sword counter sets here, and they're very nice. I mean, they're nice color, clarity, dual-sided, and good thickness. The only downside to these, sometimes there's nibs on these when you poke these out or punch these out. So these are definitely, if you're a clipper, probably are going to want to clip these, has been my experience. So I do have the actual counters for this. So these are the Utah counters right here. And then, so you don't have to cut them off of here. Plus, a lot of people sometimes make copies of this map and blow it up so you have a little bit more playing space. It kind of defeats the purpose of this being a pocket game, but each to their own. So how do you play these games? So let's pull out the coffee a little bit and get a little bit closer view of the game here. So this is Utah Beach. Before we go too far, let's get a quick look at the rest of the games here. This is Omaha Beach, so that's a teaser for tomorrow. Gold Beach, Juno Beach, Sword Beach. There you go. Oh, sorry. There you go. So that will be the coverage this week. But we're talking about Utah right now. And so this, let's go out a little bit so you can at least see the counters that are there. So there's a Utah Beach counter strip and the Utah Beach game. So these are games designed by Paul Rohrbaugh. He has his own company, High Flying Dice Games, and a lot of his games use a activation mechanism where you use a standard deck of cards. So you're going to need a die, six-sided dice, and a standard deck of cards to play any of these games. And the way that works is there's an activation, doing a card draw from the deck, and if it's black, it's a German activation. If it's red, it's an allied. I think that's right. Let's look at the rules here real quick. As you can see, the rules are really small because they have to fit on the back of this postcard. So, and then if it's even number, then you get to do 2 activations, and if it's odd, you get to do 1 activation. So the card deck serves as the activation for the game, and then it also serves as combat. When you do combat, you're going to be comparing the combat factors. You have an attack factor and a defense factor on the units there. And then you will do a card draw and add that card draw, and then you'll also add in any of the terrain modifiers. And as you can see here, there's some terrain modifiers on here that add to the defense or attack value of the unit. And then if the amount is higher, then you flip the unit over, and that's how the game goes. So it's it's very simple move and combat based on activations, and you're using a deck of cards for that. There's a die in here too, 6-sided die, and the die might come into play. I'd have to look that up. You've got the combined arm bonus, you have artillery and naval support markers that come into here, you've got a game length, and then you've got victory conditions. And I'd have to see where the die comes into this one. So most of it is through the card play, but I will look that up for tomorrow for Omaha. How about that? So you got to keep you string you along for the week. So these are very easy games to play. They don't take up they don't take up a lot of time, but it gives you some of the feel and effect of the conflict that they're trying to portray. So you have the beach here, and you've got some strongholds here, and a little bit of roads and some rivers. So you get a general feel for this section of the landings. And again, each of the games, cover their section with their specific units that were involved in that section. So there you have it. And then, of course, the counter sheet's very nice. So I believe I got this as one of they have a tendency, LPS and Against the Odds magazine, to offer what they call black swans, which are standalone games. A lot of them are Paul Rohrbaugh games, actually, or some of them are. This was kind of a part of their black swans, I think, which it was kind of a separate offering where they combined all 5 of these into one. So there you have it. That's the first of my D-Day week. There's more to come this week. As I said, I might even have a couple of Coffee with Kilroys on a few of these days, because my Coffee with Kilroys, I cover postcard games and I cover books and inserts and, kind of paper-based products for the most part. So there might be a book in our future to cover some items and aspects of D-Day. So get ready for a lot of coffee, and thank you so much for spending any time with me. And if you catch any of these or all these, either way, I appreciate that, and I want to thank you for stopping by and spending some time here. I got my coffee here. Have a sip, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching.